Well, this is one of our open days. We do one every month, and every month is a bit of a surprise of who shows up. But I'm not sure, Linda, how much you read on the website, but and also you, Sanya, but you already registered, so I know you're coming. But this year's program is 14 weeks, and Pushpa will introduce a little bit the school, but you know, it's like we meet today really to kind of presence the program as a whole. And we know that even we talk only to you, Linda, it'll actually spread much further because of the feeling that we create when we meet and talk about the school with anybody, really. So we met as a team this morning, and we have a couple of students registered for the full program, and then a number of people that come for individual weeks or like a month or something like that. And now we're seeing to bring some more people in to really create a community that lives together for a while and lives and loves together and learns together. These are the three words I think we said: love, learn, and live. These were like three buzzwords that I don't remember in Italian anymore. They sound better in that language. Pushpa, in front of the beautiful sunset, can you introduce us a little bit to the school and why you set it up and what it is?
Yeah, so as you say, the sunset speaks for itself. This is later, maybe I'll move the phone a bit to show you a bit better where we are so that you can get a little virtual presence at the school already. But anyway, just briefly, I just wanted to tell you how we came to have this school and how and what's going on. And so together actually with Hanako, who is here, and Dr. Venturi, who's one of our teachers, we are the founders of this foundation called Ama Pachamama Foundation, whose primary scope is the transmission school, of which, as Fritz says, I'm director. And basically, you know, we've been observing and I think all of us, not just us, for the past 30 years, in a way, the degrading planetary situation, no, ecologically and socially. And of course, we noticed a lot because, you know, when people don't care for themselves or love themselves or have the time for themselves, then of course it's very difficult to do so for others, and let alone the planet. So we somehow have fallen a bit in the illusion of success, fame, wealth that would do it all for us, no, and that could make us happy. Then forcefully we get ill at all levels, and finally we delegate our health, physical and mental, in the hands of others, and especially pharmaceutical industries, who then of course we discover also run the world, and then on and on. And so, long story short, we were educated maybe from the age of 4 for some of us, or earlier even, to think that that's normality. So we you know, we realized also that we were observing how the schools are structured like factories in a way, and some of us have gone to schools like that, most of us in fact. And then most of our teachers, who are really, as I always say, they're not teachers, they're masters. They, you know, we've all been working between 20, 25, 30, 35 years, some of us, in alternative education and alternative medicine and so on and so forth. And myself and my husband, we had an intentional community for almost 20 years, and the Nika village, and there we were pioneers of a school called the nature school. It was called Scuola della Natura, nature school, and it was based Montessori Waldorf, but where we recognized that nature was the real school. And the school went to 1 year to 14. And then in the summer, we hosted mindfulness camps for teenagers and young adults, and many courses for adults on alternatives, agriculture and medicine, or meditation, or spiritual growth, arts, and all sorts of things, music. So with all of this, and really aware of the extraordinary times and also the global confusion, our team really worked together and decided to take an action towards this. So we were together really working 5 years to create a school for young adults and adults young inside. So we always say, and probably it's still in our website, from 18 to, to 180, because really it's a school for everybody. And it's where we can transmit our knowledge after having worked for so long on all of this, and experience all of this. No, and this is what we really want to pass on, is to how to reconnect to the source, resonate with fellow humans, and really the heartbeat of the earth, which is very much like ours when we can listen to it and listen to ourselves, and really, start re-empowering people, because it's already in them. So it's just a matter of reconnecting and really bringing it out. So this program that will run from the 11th of September until the 17th of December is really it's an initiation in being a change maker, starting with ourselves. So how are we going to change our life? How are we going to bring, how is the first question that we're going to give to people and to ourselves, not hi, who are you, or what you do, which is often what we are asked, but how, hi, and how, what brings you joy, what is life for you? And so in this way, then we become really at service for ourselves, first of all, for others and other beings and Mother Earth. And so each of us can make this big difference. And this is where, of course, with this school, we invite you to co-create with us this new paradigm and really live it. Because this is the other thing. Well, lots of even amazing schools are online nowadays, especially with all the circus that we've gone through the few years, past years. But this is, we always said, even during the whole COVID situation, we said, no, this is a school where we are in presence, where we are together, where we touch, where we look at ourselves in the eyes. And even during that time when we were not allowed to be together and all of that, we did our school and we got together, and people who wanted to come came. They made it somehow, even if they weren't supposed to come here, they made it. And it's made the difference in so many hundred people. And well, yeah, Sanya has been following us so much that she's finally managed to even so a bit, because you've been seeing even the program of the other years, and this year this year is a particular program. You may have seen the website. It's really about freedom and responsibility, and it starts with us. Why? Because when we are really free and we're responsible, we can start really becoming sovereign of our bodies, of in a system which is saying what we have to do without absolutely no freedom, and deciding if we're part of this system or not, if we want to do something else. And this is where the new paradigm is created. So yeah, so here it's really a learning center for full of of transmissions, but of life skills, and which makes you a self-sufficient agent of change. So yeah, I think I could go on talking and talking. As you hear, I have a lot of enthusiasm about this project, and so yeah, I'd like to also have the other teachers talk, so there's even space for you. I'll just add, because I have the word, I'm mostly teaching.
Wait, Pushpa, don't give it away yet, because I want to keep your course for the cherry on the top in the end.
Okay.
But I think, one thing to, for us all to know, that the energy that Pushpa just brought is the energy of the school. So, it's that kind of life and love that we live. And that's why also, I moved to Tuscany to be near the school, and Hanako lives in the school, and Cora will soon move to Tuscany. She doesn't know yet, and Melanie too. And, so this is kind of the energy. It's really pulling you in. And as Pushpa said, we have a couple of teachers here, and so maybe each of us just can say a few words on what we're teaching, on what brought us to the school, whatever you feel, to give a little bit of an impression. And yeah, so I'll pass the word to Melanie if it's okay. I teach a course with her, so it'll be nice to hear a little bit from her about what we're doing, because I don't know.
You're
Melanie?
muted.
Melanie, your microphone.
Yeah.
Well, maybe pass to somebody else, huh? You can take your time.
Sorry,
Oh,
I'm just on my phone, and so it's a little different from being on my laptop. Hi, everyone. It's lovely to be here. Can you all hear me okay?
yeah.
Okay. So my name's Melanie. I am a yoga teacher, and I was originally born and grew up in Australia, but I've lived for the last 20 years in Europe and also in the United States. And I guess I sort of wanted to introduce myself a little bit and a little bit about my background and maybe part of the reason why I was drawn to the transmission school and to be amongst this group of teachers and teachings. And, you know, when I look at the 14-week program, I think, wow, any student that comes here for 14 weeks, maybe they get the same amount of knowledge and insights and transmission that I received in 50 years. It seems like in 14 weeks, you really will learn so many things that for most people take a whole lifetime to experience, to learn, and to be transmitted to. I grew up kind of in a similar sort of environment, I guess, to the transmission school and some of the background of Pushpa with the school and community living. I've lived in a lot of communes and in community living with other adults. So the transmissions that I received as a young adult and as a young child came not only from school, but from the people that I lived with. So not only from my family and direct family members, but from other people. So I really resonate and relate to the idea of being transmitted from other adults and receiving what is not necessarily a traditional education, and that you receive knowledge from people if you're lucky enough. And I have been fortunate in my life to have had knowledge transmissions from important people who come into my life at the right time. And sometimes, particularly in the younger years, without even realizing it. And is probably what set me on the path to yoga. And although I experienced quite a lot of chaos and difficult situations as a young child and a young adult, yoga was always the thread for me. And it's what gave me my grounding. It's what taught me about myself. It's what gave me moments of silence and getting to know myself, which is what the true essence really, I feel, of yoga is. I began yoga practicing in Melbourne, in Australia, when I was probably in my 20s, I think. So I've been practicing now for 30 years. But it was some time until I became a teacher and did my teacher training that I did in France in an ashram. And since then I went on to teach both in France and also here in Amsterdam, and Amsterdam is where I live now. And I was fortunate enough to move to Amsterdam and meet one of my other teachers, who is Hanako, who's also with us today. And through her came my path to the transmission school and to just being able to be there one summer and being asked to teach yoga. And this is how these things happen, I guess. When I come in October to teach it, I think it's the first week of October, I'm there. I'll be teaching alongside Fritz that week. It's a spiritual week. And so I'm really hoping that what I'm able to transmit through the yoga classes is a connection with yourself that you feel through the practice of the asanas, the physical postures, or the breathing exercises, or maybe it's through meditation, or maybe it's just during one moment when you're lying in relaxation at the end of the class, or maybe it's later on when you reflect on the class. is that you will feel that inside you, which is your true self, which is the true path of yoga. Is not necessarily for a fit body or a steady body or even maybe a steady mind, but it's to get a sense of who your true self is. And I think that Fritz can maybe speak a little bit more about what that might also look like during the week. Do you think I said that well enough, Fritz? You're also on mute, Fritz.
Gosh,
Yeah.
you said it beautifully. I almost have nothing to.
Great.
No, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Great.
Yeah. In important moments, I freeze for a moment, so to keep the tension high, and keep the excitement up. Well, I have not much to add because you said it very beautifully, and you know, it's like walking through a gate from the form into the formless. You know, like we are very attached to the form of everything, of our body, of everything we see, we can touch, and actually there's also another dimension. And what we do in that week is really to take some steps on that path to understand where is the threshold from form to formless. And you know, when Melanie speaks about yoga, you can already hear in where she speaks from that it's not about the necessarily the physical postures, but what is in them and what is in you as you do them. So that will be the gate through which we walk. And then in the week after us, there will be a wonderful teacher who goes further, deeper into the formless dimension, and that's the astral week. So that's really the week beyond yourself. It's not about you anymore, which I find very exciting. And that's actually I teach two courses, one with Melanie and then a second one a little bit later in the program, which is to really take that step beyond your own personal perspective or beyond your personal life. There's like a new dimension that opens. So beyond the I interpretation of everything. And to me, that's very exciting because that's when you can be like truly available to life and you can start to see the colors and it's not about yourself anymore. So that'll be a course I teach a couple of weeks after Melanie and I taught, and it'll be in the mental week. So it's more of understanding what we are actually experiencing before in the course with Melanie and myself. So that's a little bit about us. And then maybe I can pass the word to Hanako, who's also a teacher of the Astral Week. So there will be two Astral Weeks, one with, I forgot his name right now, but one with a friend of Hanako and then one with Hanako herself. And yeah, Hanako, so maybe you can say a few words. And I think you also teach another in the beginning, huh?
Sorry,
Sure,
Fritz, just before I signed off, I just wanted to give a little more detail on the actual yoga class. So there will be people coming who have practiced yoga previously. There'll be people for whom this might be the first time, and the classes will be adjusted for everybody. So we'll practice as a group, we'll practice regularly, we will practice asanas, pranayama, very deep meditation. There might be a few surprises in there, things that even maybe the most experienced people haven't tried before. But we will practice quite strong classes for about 2.5 hours, but it won't be asanas the whole time. And it will be adjusted depending on you know, what everybody's level and abilities are. So so that's all I just wanted to add. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
And I know, Melanie, you're signing off, so that's why we say
Yes.
goodbye to you. Perfect.
I'm sorry for that.
That's fine. All good.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye.
Bye.
So Hanako, over to you
Yes.
to guide us a bit further into the astral and what that is.
Yeah, so especially the theme of this year's period is freedom and responsibility. And one of my favorite subjects is, of course, our body, you know, how we take care, but also that we have the rights to make choices for our body and to know also and to understand our body. So I was pretty excited about filling the 2 weeks in about this subject. So the first course I will be working together with Darko, who is a raw food teacher. And in the afternoon, I will, which is like 6 days, I will go through all the bodies to teach you massage. I call it unblocking the life roads in the body. And so I will teach about meridians, digestion, how to get rid of headaches, how moreover to unblock, so to say, all the pathways that we have, you know, and where we free with massages and other knowledge our body up so that we can feel happy, but also have the knowledge that when something is happening to our body, that we can immediately act upon it and have the knowledge about it. So that is one part of the week that I'm teaching. And the other part of the week, which will be end of November, I call it soma. The Greek word for soma means body. And in this week, I explain about longevity, immortality, and alchemy. And especially what I'm teaching there is that all the medicines that we need or so-called wish, you know, to have access to in the outside world, we all have that inside our bodies. So that is referring to a lot of freedom and responsibility, you know, how to take care of our body and to have knowledge about the body. So I'm very excited to teach that, because it's a study which I have been updating 10 years already. I also have fun things in there, like without using toxic sun cream, how to apply without actually applying a cream on the body, but energetically applying sun cream, you know, as a protection for our body. And I have lots of these tips, and I call that the Soma Cloud. And that was even before iCloud. I already had that idea to store everything in some sort of a library. So also in there, I store a lot of knowledge that we have access to. My background is that I'm half Japanese, half Dutch. I was born in the Netherlands, and most of the time I also lived in the Netherlands. Also, I lived in Tokyo. I lived in California also for longer periods of time. And the last 3 years I have been in Italy. And so in that sense, I'm also an international free being. And hope also with that to inspire all the students that come and join our school. For me, together also with Pushpa, the school, and the idea of being excited to make a school that is a dream, you know, like a dream store. Like, what kind of school would you have liked to join when you were young? And so this is where the team, you know, and in this case now you only see Pushpa. We were so excited of building a school like that. And so far, so many people came, because we had also the guts to stay open during the COVID time. And we have seen so many people changing their lives completely. And it's so exciting for me as a teacher to be part of this time, you know, to make also the changes in the world by freeing up our thoughts about it, what's really going on, and stay truth and humble within our own directory. So this is what I wanted to share.